that brings me to my story and why. And this is all about you, but we got to talk a little bit about where we're at and why I'm even doing this webinar tonight. It's essentially our mission and our life work when it comes to Motus Rx. So the goal is to take a sledgehammer to the traditional model. And again, I apologize. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but some of the ways that we're dealing with back pain in the traditional model, and I'll leave it at that, are just absolute garbage. Okay. It's frustrating, it's infuriating, and I'm not going to say anything else about it. So the goal is to really take a sledgehammer to the way that we're traditionally dealing with back pain, because we know it's not working, right? It's just not working. So we gotta try a different way, and that's the whole goal behind what we're doing here. Now, we see more than back pain, but any physical therapist, any chiropractor, a large number of people that are struggling are going to be dealing with back pain, upper back pain, neck pain. And that's why our situation, our business, that's what my mission is all about. So it really started my second year in practice. Now, I've been a licensed physio for over 10 years. I've had my own practice for coming up on 5 here. But in my second year of practice, when I was just a young buck, didn't know any better, was just trying to help people, was still looking at my college physical therapy textbooks and looking at everything as black and white. I had a patient come in with low back pain, and we did our spiel. We did our typical insurance-based, you have so many visits approved, and hopefully we can solve your problem in that time frame. So we got to a point, and this individual was doing pretty well, right? He got out of pain. He felt like in the 8 visits that we had worked together, we'd make significant progress, and his insurance ran out. Essentially, for those of you that are familiar with in-network insurance, your in-network, your insurance oftentimes will approve so many visits for physical therapy when it's deemed medically necessary, right? We'll talk about that later on. Now, when this individual felt better and they had to be discharged or graduated because their insurance ran out, I thought all was good, right? I thought all was great. Person was out of pain, felt like we accomplished what we wanted in a pretty short amount of time. And then about 3 months later, this individual comes back and ends up on my schedule. All right. And the individual comes in, same problem again. And she says, well, I was feeling really, really good. But, about a month, 2 months later, things kind of really came back with a vengeance. And, I don't really know what happened. And in my process, my interviewing, I always want to try to get a best reasoning or a best answer from the person in front of me about why they think they're here, why they think they're struggling. So I said, you know what? Why do you think this happened? And this gentleman looked me square in the eye and said, you're the physical therapist. Why don't you figure that out? Right? And that's when it all changed for me. It all changed. Honestly, it's not this big overwhelming story, but it all changed because what I realized at that point in time was that there's a big difference, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. There's a big difference between medical necessity, according to what an insurance wants, and life necessary, right? Life necessity. In this individual, we were able to get out of pain, but because of restrictions in the traditional model, we weren't able to transform them. We weren't able to transform the situation. We weren't able to make them all the way well. And I realized, even though I was too young and too scared and too timid to really take big action on it until a few years later, I realized that something wasn't right here, right? Something was not right. If that person came back to me with the exact same problem a few months later, and they had to tell me that, you need to figure this out, and you're the one to tell me why this is happening, but I was kind of restricted by the insurance situation, that's when it all changed for me. So that's why medically necessary doesn't mean life necessary, right? Insurance companies and the powers that be that cover this stuff, they want you to have 180 degrees of shoulder mobility. They want you to have little rinky-dink strength gains. But they don't care if you're the type of individual that needs to be able to lift your kid from the car seat to the stroller. They don't care if you're the type of the individual who the only way you can function every day is if you go to the gym and press a lot of weight overhead. They don't care if you're a golfer and your only escape from the 9 to 5 and everything else is swinging that club, 40 times around or whatever it is. So medical necessity to me was not life necessity. And that's where this shift happened. And that's where this practice is going. And that's where we're helping a lot of people with back pain, because it can't be just pain relief. All right. We help active individuals move confidently and feel young, right? So I'm going to hopefully pound it through. It's an ultimate transformation. It's not just pain relief here.